Making a choice that is 1% better or 1% worse may seem insignificant in the moment, but over a course of a lifetime, these choices determine who we become. That is a quote from James Clear of Atomic Habits. Today, I'm here to ask you, what is one choice that you're going to make that will impact your life? Let me start off by telling you a story. The year is 2019. At this time, I had a successful home staging business. And I just felt like something was missing, not only for myself, but for the staging and real estate industry. What I was finding was that there was a huge gap in the use of technology between these two industries, and I had set off to create this by myself. Through conversation with several different people in real estate tech, as well as real estate investors, they all determined the same thing. First, this is a great idea, and second, I should be the one to do it. That autumn day in 2019, that is what I did. With no developer experience, no technology experience, and absolutely no understanding of the journey that lay ahead for me, the others around me, and for the impact that I would have. But I dove in with gusto, ready for the adventure. As I was a young girl, since I was 11 years old, I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had known that I was always going to do something big, something different, outside the norm. Fast forward several years, and I started creating this application. I was so excited to begin this application, and just drove in with gusto, ready to take an adventure. Throughout the process and along the journey, I had an opportunity to connect with so many different individuals along the way, who not only helped me, but helped grow my business with me. From Adam, who took me under his wing, with his tech startup, to Marianne, my first coach, who really advised me and coached me in taking that big leap, ready to take the developer. I was personally impacted by so many people. So I ended up hiring a developer, Paul, from LA. And his whole team was based in India. His development team was based in India. From my one choice, I was able to create global impact. I not only was able to get support from Paul, but I was able to grow his business through providing testimonials and also connect with people I would have otherwise never had known had I not taken this leap. Along the journey and throughout the process, I was raising, and I'm still raising, a very young family. Without knowing it at the time, my actions were impacting my sons. They not only got to see a mother who was supportive of them, but they got to see a mother who was supportive of her own dreams, her own desires, and her own goals. They got to see me at my highs, but also at my lows. Without knowing it, I was having generational impact on my own children. How amazing is that? We, through taking action, get to have impact on our youth. And the first little part was the fun part. It was the shiny bells and whistles, the development, the big picture thinking. I loved this. However, as Dr. Seuss says, you'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV, except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I didn't win, not in the traditional sense. I would wake up, have meetings, have investment, but I didn't win. And just before my fourth son was born, I decided to call this quits. It was a failure. The app did not gain the traction I had anticipated, and I was exhausted. Now, 8 months later, with the opportunity of this TED Talk, I'm able to reflect back. I'm able to reflect back and see just how many people I was able to impact, how many lives I was able to change. I'm able to look back and see what that one day in 2019, what it actually did for me and for those around me. You see, life's biggest lesson is not about the action of winning. It's about how we behave and respond to the action when we don't win, the resilience we feel, the growth we conquer. As Nelson Mandela says, the greatest glory in living lies in not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. If I never failed, I wouldn't be standing here on the stage today, impacting all of you. Through my failure, I now have the opportunity to turn it into a beautiful lesson and create an amazing story. I would love to invite you right now to create your own story with me. If you have a paper in front of you or your smartphone, I'd love for you to open it up. And what I want you to do is think of one amazing idea. It could be maybe you're starting an app, maybe it's a community that you want to create, maybe it's something that you want to invent. Whatever that is, I want you to write that down. Now, as we write this down, I want you to think of 3 ways that this can be expansive. What I mean by this is who will you impact or who can you impact simply by taking action and following through. Of those people that you impact, how else and who else can you impact? I'll give you an example. My developer, Paul from LA, I was able to help impact his business through providing testimonials, but also I was able to support other startup companies that he was working with simply by getting on a phone call and having conversation with them. So now I was able not just to help with Paul, but I was able to help with so many other businesses and their journey when they first started off. I was able to give them lots of guidance. I want you to narrow it down a little bit now too. How will you personally be impacted when you take action? How will your family be impacted and your friends? And finally, what if you fail? Because I know this is a hard one. We all want to win, but sometimes we don't win. Sometimes we lose. Where we grow is on the other side of what that failure is. So what if we fail, and what does your story look like after that failure? I advise you and urge you, please, just take one small step. As we leave today, what is that one step that you want to take? It could be as simple as sending a note to someone you met today, sending a message on LinkedIn asking for a meeting. Whatever that action is, know that in taking that action, you're setting something big into motion. You may not see the whole puzzle yet, but you're holding a piece of that puzzle. And that piece of that puzzle can create a ripple effect that will impact your life and the lives of others forever. So I'll leave you with this. It's not about whether the world is watching. It's about whether you're willing to take the leap. Make change. Have impact. And if you fail, rise up and keep going, no matter what. Thank you.